Oops. We are back. Another episode for y'all. This one's another cool little pattern. Again, another fairly simple one to tie. This one is the Olive RS2, so it's like an emerger pattern. From my research, it says it doesn't really imitate anything specifically, but I mean, to me it looks like it imitates a bluing olive, but super simple to tie. So let's get her going here. Actually, I gotta change my thread here. So okay, so we are doing this in a size 16. Usually do it a little bit smaller, but again, I just try and do it the size you guys can see the best. So let's get her started. Size 16 dry, light olive ultra thread. Excuse me. So this one we're going to wrap all the way back, and we're actually going to leave our tag end on this one. We're not going to snip this off, so I'm going to build up a little bit of thread here. We're not going to cut this section off just yet. Now, you could buy, I forget what the name of them is, the little tail material things. I have found it to be much easier, simpler, cheaper, whatever, to just buy a good old paintbrush. Similar material, so why not use it? I mean, you can get a paintbrush for like a couple bucks, so that's just the way I do it. So your tail, I figure just a little over the, maybe like 1 1/4-ish, the shank. And we'll tie these in, making sure that they stay up on top of the hook. Just like that. We'll secure that down. Snip our excess off here. And you can use these a bunch more times. I mean, they don't have to like come to like a point or nothing. They work all the same. Now you're going to take your tag end and feed it through. Then you can kind of pull them and spread these legs out a little, or the tail section out a little bit. And then just secure that down with a couple of tighter wraps. And then snip that off. Pretty simple. For my dubbing, I use a brown olive. I'm sorry, not a brown olive, bluing olive, which is this guy here. When you dub this, you want to use just a little at a time because you don't want your body to be like too bulky. So I just go like a little bit at a time. Build myself a little noodle. And then start with some nice even wraps all the way back up. When you get to right about here, I take some Parapost wings in white. This is going to be the merger section, or whatever you want to call it. Take off just a little chunk of that. And kind of twist the one end. This might be a little bit too much. That's better. Twist one of the ends nice and tight like that. Snip it square so it looks decent. Tie that in with a couple wraps. Pull up your excess in the front. And snip off as much as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Probably gonna end up tying some of that down anyway. Just like that. Give it just a couple wraps back behind it to get it to stand up a little bit better. And then grab a little bit more dubbing. Again, not too much. A little goes a long way. And then I usually do a couple like dubbing wraps back behind it. And then finish off with a few little wraps in front of it. And I'm going to add just a touch more. You'd rather underdo it than overdo it, I will promise you that. You can always add a little bit more. And that's about perfect there. And then go ahead with couple whips. Make sure that's tight. Snip off any excess. It looks like I have a little bit down here at the bottom. Just like that. And then I take this, pull it upwards, and then about a 45-degree angle, then I cut down right towards where the tail is. Just like that. So it's going to be like a little bug emerging out of your nymph kind of thing there. And then from here, the tail is a little longer than I need it to be, so I will trim that up just a little bit. Like that. And then finish her off with a little head cement. The other thing you can do, like with your head cement, is add a little bit to like the thread, like right as you're about to whip finish it, and that works too. But this is just the way I do it. And that there is the Olive RS2. Works really well in the area that I'm in, and well, most areas it will work pretty well. So you can always do this as like a dry dropper with this underneath like a blue wing olive, and you will catch the fish that aren't going to commit to your dry. You'll get them on this one. So another little fly for your arsenal. Super easy to tie, and fishes really well. So appreciate you guys swinging by, and catch you on the next one. Peace.